Check, check. Yes. Good morning. I'm just going to wait for 10:30 to begin the practice. So please feel free to make yourself at home. Anybody that's watching, this is my studio. Oh, hey. If you're watching, say hi in the chat box and I'll be able to chat with you before and after the practice. Hi, Paul. Hey, everybody. Inversions, inverted bicycle. Paul, do you mean shoulder stand, Sarvangasana, with your legs going like this in the air? Is that what you mean by inverted bicycle? Because we can certainly do that. Okay, yes, we can absolutely do that. Do you have any other requests? Anybody? Who else is here? I love this. I love that we can do yoga together in two separate places and still chat. Let's see, what time is it? Okay, got like 5 more minutes before we start. Feet. Okay. We can stretch the feet. We can strengthen the feet. Absolutely. The padas. Here's my foot. Look how big it is. Got some Palo Santo here. I'm going to sage our practice space. So if you'd like to do the same at home, you can use any herbs, any smudging tools like Palo Santo or sage, but just make sure that they're sustainably harvested. A lot of the Palo Santo and sage that you buy at the store is really cheap because it's not ethically and sustainably harvested. So if you're not familiar with cleansing tools, this is one. You can see the smoke here. It's just going to help clear our space for prosperity and abundance. And you can imagine if you don't have any smudging tools wherever you are, that I'm also cleansing for you. Hi, Hillary. Meet Paul. Paul, meet Hillary. Hillary, do you have requests? Paul has requested shoulder stand and feet work, which is pretty cool. I love the feet work because I feel like we put our feet through a lot and we don't always love on them or stretch them out. So Hillary, in my memories, yesterday, I was super busy. I wanted to post it, but my memory was on Instagram from us doing our class together where you came in and played with me for the restorative. I'd love to play with you again at some point. That was fun. Let's make that happen when we're allowed to be in the same room together again. I think there's somebody else here. If anybody else has joined. setting up my clock so I can see what time it is. Oh, somebody else joined us. Hello, who are you? Say hi in the chat box. And if you have any requests, just let me know. Hi, Carol. I saw that you subscribed this morning. Thank you for doing that. Carol, do you have any requests? Yeah, Hillary, we'll definitely play together again for sure. Stephen and I have a kirtan and we're going to live stream it on Saturday from 5 to 7. And I think I'm going to stream it through YouTube and also through Facebook Live as well. Okay, Carol, we can do some hips, and Hillary, we can do stretching it out, butt, legs, and arms. Sun's out, guns out, yeah. I'm excited that you're here too, Carol. This is awesome. Meet Paul and Hillary. And then there's some other people in here, but I can't see who they are. Reveal yourselves. Okay. All right, so it's start time. So I'm just gonna step back here and just know that I won't be able to see the chat. I'll check on it a little bit later. And yeah, let's begin. All right. Welcome, my friends. So wonderful to be able to do some yoga with you from the comfort of our own spaces. So thanks for joining. This will be a 90-minute class from 10:30 to noon. Feel free to take breaks as you need to, grab water, tune in and out, whatever you need. And then also, please allow your practice to be your own. Take responsibility for your safety and for your needs because this is your practice. So just enjoy it. The most important thing, I think, of any physical practice is the connection to the breath. You'll forget to breathe a lot. Just keep coming back to the breath. You'll get distracted a lot. Just keep coming back to the breath. And especially right now, when everything is kind of up in the air and uncertain and we don't know what's going to happen minute to minute, the breath is the thing that will help us to calm down quickly. Like if you sat down and even just took one deep breath, and you don't even have to sit down, you can just pause, stop, take a full breath, and then everything has shifted. So I think it's a magical tool for stress release. So the breath is the thing that we'll focus on. We got one more. Hi, Eliza. Yay, namaste. I'm grateful for you too. Okay, so we were just chatting about the breath. The breath is the important part of the practice. Everything else is just secondary, I think. So if you'd like, in addition to our physical practice, I'll invite you to get what you need, of course, for yourself, but then also to send some loving kindness out into the world. And I've been using the phrase global healing. Everything that I've been offering recently, even more so, has been for the good of all beings. So as you practice, I invite you to visualize everybody, our whole world, in radiant health and wellness and freedom and prosperity. Because right now, we're being called to step up and to hold the light and to be the light. And it's because of the darkness we can really understand that. And darkness is within ourselves too. They call it darkness or shadow. And in order for us to evolve and to ascend and to grow as, a culture and as a people and as, creatures of the planet, we're called to find acceptance and love for our dark spots. And dark doesn't mean evil. There's nothing bad about us at all. It's just those spaces and those things about ourselves and our journey that need a little bit more love and acceptance and understanding. So that is kind of really coming out in the collective right now through the sickness and the feeling of lack. I mean, look at everybody going to get toilet paper. You know, we have a root chakra imbalance, as my friend and teacher Sahara Rose was saying. You know, elimination is part of that root chakra, Muladhara, which is foundation and home and safety and security. So it makes a lot of sense. So let's use this practice to take care of our own needs and to accept all the parts of ourselves that are coming up, all of the emotions, the doubt, the fear, the uncertainty, the anxiety, and maybe not even necessarily to shift it to quote unquote good or fulfilling feelings, but rather just to rest, just to come back to the breath, just to come back to the breath. We don't need to know what's happening because we're never fully in control of this universe, right? We're just being guided. And if we trust and have faith in that everything is working out for the best and that everything is going to be okay, then that will be our reality, okay? So we got some work to do. Physically, we've got hips and arms and legs and butt and shoulder stand and feet, basically from head to toe. We'll practice today. So the mantra that I'd like to offer and share with you is a mantra that asks that all beings everywhere connect to and find peace, freedom, and joy. May all beings everywhere in all locations be happy, peaceful, I'll add healthy, and free. So that in Sanskrit is Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. So we'll begin and end with some chanting. We will start with some breath work, and in the middle of the practice, we'll move around. Okay? Sound good? So let's begin in a comfortable position. Maybe you're in a seat. You might recline if you'd rather. Let's start taking some deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. And if you are able to still hear me, you're welcome to drop your gaze or close your eyes. And even if you can't hear me, we're just going to be using the breath for a few minutes here. So feel free just to drop the gaze away from the screen and to start to tune in to your present reality. Notice what sounds you can hear in the room that you're in and then outside the room that you're in. Deeply breathing, inhaling, exhaling. Now inhaling through the lower, middle, and upper lungs. Maybe putting your hands at the chest and belly. Exhaling, chest, ribs, and belly. Inhaling, belly, ribs, chest. Exhaling, chest, ribs, belly. Inhaling up the body in a long Dirga, 3-part breath. Exhaling, chest, ribs, belly. Now we'll add on, inhale, belly, ribs, chest, and hold the breath in for 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 4, 3, all the way down, 2, drawing the navel back, 1, and hold the breath out for 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Pause and hold. 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause and hold. 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Pause and hold. 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause and hold. 2, 3, 4. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. Pause and hold. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. Pause and hold. Last inhale. Hold 6, 5. Swallow if you like. 4, 3, 2. Sip a little more in through the mouth and hold. Swallow one more time. And then release it completely. If you like, rub your hands together and get them warm and charge them up with good energy and place them anywhere on your body that needs more love. And we'll begin with 3 rounds of Om, that sound of connection and union across the airwaves, followed by 3 rounds of Om Shanti, 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 for peace of body, mind, and spirit, for ourselves, for each other, and for every being. Take a deep breath in. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Shanti Shanti Perhaps you bring your hands together at your forehead, honoring your own intuitive wisdom. I bow to you. Namaste. So if you like, you can release your hands and open your eyes if you would like to. You can keep them closed the whole damn time and lay down. Totally fine. So let's begin our physical practice. So to my left here, I have one of my favorite essential oils. So if you would like to work with oils yourself, you can place a couple drops in your hand and warm it up. Rub your hands together, and then take a just nice big inhale. And I like to put it over my chest and the back of my neck. And if you get it in your hair, then you'll smell it later when you start sweating, which is really nice. So my oil has cedar wood, which is super grounding, which I think we all need right now. I'll speak only for myself though, and bergamot and myrrh. So it's for seasonal depression and willpower. And this is from Third Generation Herbal, and you can buy this in the video notes. All right. So here I have some tools. You can use a blanket underneath your knees. You can use a couple of blocks if you would like to. I have those in the video notes as well. But anything that you want to use or not, please take care of yourself. And again, please honor your bodies during this practice. So let's start in child's pose. And if you have a blanket, you can put it underneath your knees. And let's have the knees either together to support the back more or apart. And you can draw the knees slightly apart. And you can just walk the hands in front of you, and you're welcome to come onto your forearms. Feel free to place a block underneath your forehead if you would like to. Or if you're able to bring the head all the way down to the floor, do it. Feel free to roll through your wrists while you're here. Let's take 5 deep breaths, just stretching out the low back, puffing up the upper back by breathing into the middle lungs. Feel the ribs expand. And you might even feel it move up into the shoulders. You're welcome to stay there, or you can place your hands off of the sides of your mat, bending your elbows a little bit, and then lean through one side and then the other, dipping through the shoulders. And if this does not feel good for your knees, then you can prop yourself up a little higher, tucking the toes under. Deep breaths. And for next week, I promise to have some original music for you guys. But for now, your breath is your music, so just enjoy it. And then coming back to center, let's rise up to table. Okay, getting into the hips, let's move into some hip circles. So you can stretch your right leg back, and then feel free to lift your leg up and start moving around in a big circle, up, down, and around. And the whole time, your core is engaged and your arms are straight. You're pressing through big, wide palms. Your fingers are spread out as much as you can get them, and your index fingers are parallel to one another. Let's give the screen a little karate kick. Yeah. Since we'll be working with our feet, your toes are spread out nice and wide. Now let's bring the knees close to one another. On an inhale, dorsiflex the foot and lift the knee up as high as your hip. And as you exhale, return. Let's lift, inhale. Exhale, pull in. For 4, 3, this one's for Hillary, butte, 2, and 1, and hold it up, and your knee can be bent or your leg can straighten. Now let's hold for 3, 2, 1, and then swing it behind you and step it over to the left off of your mat, and you can turn and look at it if you want to. And I'm pressing into my hands to get a stretch all the way down the leg and down the foot, and then we'll come to return. Now we'll take the left leg back, stretching the left leg behind you. You can tuck the toes and press them on your mat. Give yourself a foot stretch for a moment. And then engaging the core, draw the rib cage up, press the arms straight, and lift up through the left leg. And let's start to circle around, just some free movement through the legs. And if this is too much on your wrist, you can always come up onto the tips of your fingers. Deep breaths. Okay, now here we go. Dorsiflex the foot means draw the toes towards your knee. Lift and lower. So your arms are straight and strong. Your core is engaged. You're lifting your leg. Think big fire hydrant, little dog. For 4, 3, 2, 1, lift it up and hold it. Your knee is bent or your leg is straight. Spread out your toes, hold. 3, 2, and 1, and send it behind you over to the right side off of the mat and press into your hands. Press into your foot. Give yourself a foot stretch. And then let's release it. Okay. Now we'll stretch our wrists as we've been here for a while. Turn your right fingers toward your knee. Pause and breathe there. And then carefully switch. Take your left hand towards your left knee. And pause there and take a breath. Okay, coming back onto the hands, let's soften through the belly, broaden through the chest, draw the shoulder blades closer together. Maybe lift your gaze. And then exhale and curl up. And continue your spinal movement up and down. So extension and flexion. And while you guys do this, I'm going to turn on another light so that we can sort that shadow situation out. So keep moving in extension and flexion with your breath. Big, deep inhales and big, full exhales. Keep going for about another minute. Deep breaths in and out. In and out. That's a little better. Oh, yeah, right on. Okay. Now, from here, we'll lift up through the right arm, reach it high, and as you exhale, you can either bring the right forearm down underneath you, or you can slide it all the way under and through. You can press down into your left hand, or you can start to walk your left arm forward, or maybe you wrap it behind your back. For those of you that want to play with the balance, you can stretch your left foot back, lifting the left knee off the floor, and try to draw your navel up underneath the ribs. If your neck needs a little bit more of a stretch, tuck your chin closer to the right arm and roll onto the back of the head. Make sure you're breathing freely. If you lose your breath, then you've cut off the energy flow, and also you might injure yourself. So keep coming back to the breath, back to the breath. Okay, let's bring the left hand down, bring the left knee down, and press yourself back up onto straight arms. Now we'll do the left arm. So inhaling, the left arm reaches high, and as you exhale, bring it under and through, laying all the way down. You can press into the right arm, you can walk it forward, or feel free to wrap it behind your back, reaching for the hip crease. If you want to try that asymmetrical balance, you can press the right foot behind you, lifting the knee off the ground. And here, see if you can scoop the tail down, drawing the navel up, drawing the ribs up, giving yourself a nice opening. But you're also pressing down through that left foot that happens to be on the floor as well. Let's take one more breath. And as you exhale, press back up onto straight arms. Now we'll do lateral flexion. So keeping the core engaged, turn your right hip towards your right shoulder, and you can turn to look at it. And then exhale, do the same on the left. So just lateral flexion for the spine, curling and curling. Okay, now coming into downward facing dog. If you have a blanket, you're welcome to keep it there. I'm just going to take mine out of the way and put it to the side. For downward facing dog, your hands are spread wide at the top of the mat, fingers grip the floor, also the thumbs, and tuck the toes under, lift the hips up, and then send the hips back. Now, see if you can drop the head. See how my head and my arms and my shoulders are all in one line with the rest of my spine? Try and keep that, and then walk the legs back. If you notice that when you try and straighten your legs, the shoulders come forward, then just keep the knees bent. Keep sending your tail up toward the sky, and just keep that. So it's totally fine if your knees are bent in down dog the whole entire time. Your heels may or may not touch the floor. Now, pushing the front of the mat forward and away with your hands, you can start to bend your knees one at a time, pedal through your feet. Just get some nice stretch here. Relax your neck, release your jaw. To relax and soften your face, I like to do a breath called horse's breath. It can release unconsciously held tension in the jaw and in the neck and in the head. It goes like this. Plus, it's kind of fun. I like it. Let's take 2 more full breaths, reaching the top of the thighs up and back, reaching the tailbone up and back, pressing the hands forward and away. Then bend the knees and look at your hands, and beyond the hands and where your gaze point, your drishti is, step or jump your feet forward there. And when your feet plant a couple of inches apart or together, you can fold in and exhale. And you can see my knees are kind of bent here. Give yourself a slow transition into the flexibility of the legs over time. Let's allow the arms to dangle, or you might hold your elbows, or you might even hold the back of the neck. And let's take a few deep breaths here. If you feel dizzy, all you gotta do is just lift your head in line with the heart. So you lift your head up and you can prop your elbows onto your thighs for that if you would like to. Let's take 3 more breaths in our forward fold, which in Sanskrit is called Uttanasana. Sanskrit is known as the language of yoga, also the language of the gods. It's a vibrational and energetic language rather than a meaning-based language. It's important in yogic history, I think, and I love studying it. I think studying yogic philosophy can help illuminate our practice even more and bring it to a greater depth. So when you're ready, you can walk up your legs, take your time rising to stand, engage the core as you go. And then when you come to rise to stand, let's do a few shrugs through the shoulders. So roll them back and down, up as you inhale, and then back and down as you exhale. I'm just going to check the chat one more time. So you're just shrugging your shoulders. Shrug, shrug, shrug. Yes, Paul, lots of people take the feet for granted. I totally agree. Let's give our footies some love today. And in Sanskrit, the foot is called pada, but that also means chapter, which I think is really interesting. And in the Patanjali's Yoga Sutras, you'll notice that there are 4 padas, or chapters, and that just means the work that we have to go through, that we have to walk through, which is beautiful. Okay, so coming to the top of your space, you can come into Tadasana, which means that your feet are a couple of inches apart, or to challenge your balance, you bring the big toes together and the heels slightly apart. The legs are strong, so you're standing up out of the legs, and a lot of teachers say things like lift your kneecaps, but what the heck does that mean? So it just means that you engage your legs. So you're pushing down to your feet, but you're also hugging them in toward the midline isometrically. Isometric means that your muscles are engaged, but your bones don't move. So it feels like you're creating resistance. So the resistance goes in and up. The legs are engaged, but now you start pulling energy into the pelvic floor. So the pelvic floor and the perineum are engaged and lifted. For women, it feels like a Kegel exercise, but softening, okay? And then for the men, it feels like stopping urination midstream, okay? Then we pull in and up, and the navel from Mula Bandha, which is the root block where we engage and lift the perineum, the energy continues to travel up. So from like a little elevator, the navel draws up underneath the ribs. So our energy is moving in, which is called Samanavayu, and up, which is called Uddanavayu. And from Mula Bandha, the root block, the navel draws up underneath the ribs for Uddiyana Bandha. So all of this is lifting us up, and we're getting more space from the hips to the underarms. The shoulders draw back and down. The back of the head presses behind you. Slight extension in the chest. That's Tadasana, mountain pose. Ta-da! Let's rise. Inhale, raise your arms up over your head. Maybe look at your hands. As you exhale, soften your knees and fold forward. Go forward and down. Resist the urge to press your legs back and lock the knees. Then climb up the legs to the shins or fingertips on the floor. Look forward, inhaling. As you exhale, plant your hands and step back to plank. Okay, so see how my body's in one straight line here? You're welcome to bring the knees down, but make sure that the hips stay in line with the rest of the spine. So if the hips are hanging down, lift them up. And if the hips are back, let's scoop the tail under and roll the body forward. That really engages the core. Now, wherever you are, press slightly forward. Bend the elbows. Let's lower to the belly for this first one. Press down through the tops of the feet. It's really important that you press in the feet for your back bends and that you scoop your tail under a little bit more so that you feel that engagement through the perineum, through the low belly, through the navel up under the ribs, and then roll the shoulders back. But keep the feet anchored. That's your cobra pose, Bhujangasana as you inhale. And as you exhale, soften. Keep the feet planted. We're going again twice more. Inhale into your back bend. And exhale and lower. Last one, inhale, lift. And exhale and lower. Tuck your toes under. Let's get a foot stretch as we lift back up. So press your hips back towards your heels with your toes tucked under and push into your hands to stretch your feet. Then push up off of your knees and find Adho Mukha Svanasana, the downward facing dog. Let's take 3 breaths here. Relax your neck. Release your jaw. I'll try to give you options that might work for you, whether you want the practice to be more accessible or a little bit more challenging. And please add whatever you want. Bend the knees, look forward, and exhale, step or jump to that lifted gaze. That's called your drishti. So try to keep your gaze point forward when you're moving forward. And as you exhale, fold and drop the gaze. Let the neck relax. This time, let's sweep the arms back, hands wide, and then stand all the way up, fly the arms, take a V through the arms. Lift up through the chest. Pull the elbows down as you exhale, drawing the hands behind the head, and then inhale, palms face each other as you lift, slight back bend. Exhale, pull the elbows down, lifting your chest up, you're engaging your core. Inhale, palms face each other, lift. One more time, bend, now fold. Exhale, Uttanasana. Straightening the legs at the end if you want. Then inhale, hands to the shins, or keep the fingertips on the floor, lift the heart, look forward. Keep your gaze forward, keep your neck long, and plant the hands stepping back to plank as you exhale. On your inhale, push on the toes, lean forward. Bend the elbows and stop hovering halfway. Press into the tops of the feet for Urdhva Mukha Svanasana, upward facing dog. Inhaling, engaging the inner thighs more than the glutes. As you exhale, lift up and back. Adho Mukha Svanasana. 3 breaths here. Two more. And 1. Bend the knees, look forward, step or jump to the top of the mat. Half lift when you get there. Inhale, fold forward and down, exhale. Sweep back to rise up, inhaling, lift. Take a back bend if you like to. Press the hips forward, press the heart up, and then exhale, stand tall. Surya Namaskar B, sit into your chair, drop the hips, raise the arms, Utkatasana, inhaling. As you exhale, fold forward, dive down, then wiggle the toes as you straighten the legs, exhaling. Inhale, half lift, Ardha Uttanasana. The gaze stays forward. You can step to plank like we've been doing, or if you want to jump, you exhale and jump to bent elbows. Lower down on the knees or toes. Then inhale through your back bend, cobra or upward facing dog. Engage the inner thighs more. Exhale back, downward facing dog. Inhale, raise your right leg high. Press the left thigh back. Lift up high onto the left tiptoes. Look forward and step into your lunge as you exhale. Ground the back heel down at an angle, and then, keeping the front knee over the ankle, rise up. Warrior 1. As you exhale, bring your hands down. Now step back, knees, toes, or one-legged plank. So look at what my back foot is doing. I spin it up, and then my shoulders go right above my wrists. Then I can step back, knees, toes, or one leg to find the push-up. Inhale through your back bend, inhale. Exhale, down dog. I just said inhale twice. Inhale your left leg high. Then press the right thigh back. Lift up high onto your right tiptoes. Step forward to your lunge, finding your footing. Spin the back heel down. Rise up. Find your lunge. Lift to the sky. And then exhale, bring the hands down. Unplug the back heel. Step back, knees, toes, or one-legged plank. Exhale for your push-up. Inhale through your back bend. Down dog or second push-up, come through chaturanga, press up through plank and lift the hips. And let's take 5 breaths. You can stay in down dog. You can come to child's pose. You can find a seat. Inhale. Exhale, 5. Inhale. Exhale, 4. Inhale. Exhale, 3. Inhale. Exhale, 2. And if you're in child's pose with me, let's rise back to downward facing dog for one more breath. Then on your inhale, soften the knees and look forward. Step or jump to your gaze and fold in as you exhale at the top of the mat. Half lift, hands to the shins or to the floor, look up. Ardha Uttanasana. Exhaling, fold, Uttanasana. Then bend the knees and raise the arms, chair pose, Utkatasana. Keep pointing the tail toward the floor and draw the rib cage back, weight in the heels. Then push off of the feet. Lift your hips forward, lift your heart high, lift up out of the low back, press into your toes to get longer through the spine, and exhale your hands to your heart. Now we'll flow more with the breath. I'll just call the breath in the Sanskrit. There's no wrong way to practice, and guess what? No one can see what you're doing, so you can do whatever you want. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, step to plank or jump into bent elbow, Chaturanga Dandasana, lower down. Inhale, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Inhale, right leg, Ekapada Adho Mukha Svanasana. Exhale, Virabhadrasana 1. Inhaling, rise. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana, knees, toes, or one-legged plank. Inhale, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Inhale, left leg rises. Exhale, Virabhadrasana 1. Inhale, rise, find your lunge. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. Skip the push-up if you want, no problem. Inhale, back bend. Exhale, rest, down dog or child's pose. 5 breaths. 3. 2. 1. Rise to downward facing dog. Inhale, step or jump top of the mat. Exhale, fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, half lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold. Inhale, chair pose, Utkatasana. Exhale, Tadasana. Okay guys, keeping your right foot forward, let's step the left foot back to Virabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2. So for Warrior 2, your heart and your hips are open and the arms flat. Gaze out over your right hand. Now, inhaling, stand up, pull the inner thighs up and together. Exhale and bend, track the knee out over the second and third toe. Inhale, both legs work equally as you stand. Exhale, the back leg works just as much as the front leg as you bend. Inhale, Udana Vayu, upward flowing prana. Exhale, Apana Vayu, downward. Now pull the hands in. Inhale, Samana Vayu, into the center of your body. Exhale, radiate it out, Vyana Vayu. Inhale, up, Udana. Exhale, Apana. Inhale, Samana. Exhale, Vyana. Hold there. Inhale, raise the arms. Clasp the fingers and leave your index finger and thumb out, Kali Mudra. Let's take a deep breath in. As you exhale, straighten the front leg. Keeping the arms like this for a great challenge, or letting the hands come apart, let's start to lean forward, preparing for Trikonasana. If this is too much, that's really hard, you can reach your right hand down anywhere but the right knee as the left arm rises. That option 3 was to have the hands in the same direction as that back leg. To make it a little bit easier, you can move the hands apart. Let's really work the inner thighs and core. You're pushing down and forward into that right foot so that you can get the hip point under. And you're reaching forward even more for 3 more breaths. The left inner thigh is engaged. Your legs are straight but not locked out. And then bend the front knee. Bring your right forearm on your front thigh and take your left arm behind your back for a half bind. Feel free to look down, look out, or look up, but keep your neck long. So if you notice that your head is hanging or lifted, let's bring it right back in that same line. Scoop the tail under, drawing the pelvis forward to roll the heart open more. Now release the left arm up and over with your palm facing down. From here, let's bring the hands down inside the front foot and then come into a wide-legged forward fold. So walk to your left, turn your right toes in and look at both of your padas, your feet. The pinky toe edges of your feet are turning slightly inward, okay? And the heels are turning slightly outward, okay? Take another full breath in and exhale to fold to Prasarita Padottanasana. Now you might just let the arms relax. Some of you might want a shoulder stretch here. So if you want the shoulder stretch, you kind of climb up just a little bit, lift up about halfway, clasp the fingers. Let's do the right thumb on top for this first one, okay? I don't know if you can see that, but then the other grip, you basically have 2 ways you can clasp. So right thumb on top, stretch back. You can hold a towel or a strap and fold. You can also just hold the forearms if that feels better. If those of you at home normally go into tripod headstand from here, go for it. Take about 3 more breaths. One more breath. Soften the knees to engage the inner thighs to rise up. Release the hands, reach out and up. Inhaling. And then exhale, turn your left foot out so that the pinky toe edge of your left foot is now parallel to the long side of the mat. Your heels are lined up, or the front heel is aligned with the back arch, okay? Now, both legs work equally as we rise. Inhale. Exhale, warrior 2. Inhale in. Exhale out. Inhale, Udana. Exhale, Apana. Inhale, Samana. Exhale, Vyana. Inhale, Udana. Exhale, Apana. Inhale, Samana. Exhale, Vyana, and stay right there. Let's reach the hands up, clasp the fingers, index finger and thumb stay out. When you're ready, let's straighten the legs. Preparing for Trikonasana, lift up out of both legs. You're pushing equally into both of your feet. The front leg stays straight. Let's lean forward. From the right foot all the way to the fingertips is one long line, or release the hands, or option 1, come down to left hand anywhere but your knee. Now your legs are straight, but you're engaging all of the muscles. Do you see that subtle difference in me? No, all the weight is in the joint. Yes, all the muscles are engaged. Let's challenge ourselves as much as you'd like with your breath. We got 2 more breaths. You can do it. The back leg is engaged. Use your right inner thigh as well. And then bend your front knee. Take your left forearm on the front thigh and your right arm behind your back. Now here you're taking your left inner thigh underneath you, pubic bone forward so that the heart can roll open. You can look down, you can look out or up, but remember the neck is long. Your jaw is soft. See if the crown of the head can even get longer. So push into the right foot to get the head further away. Good, release the right arm out, up and over as you inhale. And then exhale, hands inside the front foot again. Okay, now turn the heels in and toes out. And if you can bring the fingertips to the floor, then you can start to bend your right knee in line with your right hip. This one's for Carol, she wanted hips. You're welcome, Carol. Side to side. And some of you can get really low. It's safer to keep the knee bent only to 90 degrees, but if your knees like it, you can sit all the way down. If you want more work here, then as you bend your left knee, you can fly the arms and look to your right foot in Skandasana. You can pull the energy in and sit low and gaze. Pull in, inner thighs hug in. And stretch. Also feeling the glutes here quite a bit. 4, 3, keep breathing. 2, 1. Oof. Bring your hands down. Now, we're coming into Manjukasana frog pose. So when you feel ready, I'm going to bring the knees down. Take your mat and fold it up lengthwise so that it's double thick. And if you have a blanket or blocks, you can put them under your forearms. So let your knees go wide and let your feet go directly behind the knees. Okay? If you can see my little feet, my little froggy feet, they're out away from me. Now I come down onto the forearms. Resist the urge to lean forward and lay on your belly. The more stretch you want, the more you'll press your hips back towards your feet. If you like, you can scoop the tail a little bit and lift the core. So see how you can now look underneath my body and see that space. We want to keep the core engaged. If we let the body sag, then that could put too much stress on the sacroiliac joints. So puff up the low back by scooping the tail, draw the core inward, and let's breathe here. Sitting with discomfort, but not pain, is part of our yoga practice. Pain is a sudden or a sharp sensation, or you're not able to stay connected to your breath. Discomfort means that it might be challenging. It might be challenging physically, mentally, or emotionally, but that we're able to breathe freely. And through the breath, we're telling ourselves that everything is okay, and we're making a new pathway. We're learning something new. And I think being able to sit with discomfort and uncertainty is a really good life skill right now. Because who knows? Keep breathing. Everything is okay. Think of all the froggies. They're smiling at you. They're sticking out their little froggy tongues. They've got their little sticky little feet. Take one more breath. Now, there's no easy, graceful way to get out of this, so just do your best. I like to walk up onto the hands and let's bring the feet closer to each other and then bring the knees together right into child's pose. So knees come together. Oh my goodness. And then just sit back for a moment. And you can come onto your forearms, or if it's available to you, you can let the crown of the head, forehead come down. All right, slowly come up. You can unfold your mat. And we'll start to get into some foot stretching. So if you have blocks, they'll just help you to get a little bit deeper into the stretches. But if you don't have blocks, you can just place your hands on the floor, on your fingertips, or on the inside of your legs. So I'm putting my knees on my double folded blanket, and then let's take the right foot forward. Okay, so coming first into your lunge, Let's take the blocks up to a higher level and then straighten the front leg. Now we walk forward and bend the front knee, pushing into the back foot so our back toes are tucked under. Then we straighten the front leg, we lift the toes. Can you see my little foot there? And then we bend forward and we push into the back foot. Then let's keep the front leg straight, point and flex the toes. And keep pulling the right hip point back into the socket as you breathe. Now, slide the right foot back a little bit, come into your lunge. Let's tuck the left toes under, lift the left knee, and step the feet a little closer together to come into Parsvottanasana, the pyramid pose. You can slide the right foot back a little bit, inhale, and then exhale, either your hands are on your shins or on blocks or on the floor, fold in. Take deep breaths here. One more breath, everybody. Now we're rocking up to standing split. So we're walking our hands onto blocks in front of us, or you can keep the fingertips on the floor. Lift your left leg standing on your right leg. Okay. Roll your left ankle in the air and wiggle through the toes. If you want to challenge your balance more, take your right hand and wrap it around your right ankle and then lock the forearm into the calf. Let's take one more full breath. And as you exhale, start to bend the right knee, walk the blocks or the hands back so that you can tap that left toe down. We're coming back up again. Inhale. Exhale, tap it down, but keep the weight in the right foot. Inhale, lift. And exhale. This time we're standing up. Bring the left knee into your chest. Stand all the way up. We're challenging that right foot, challenging our balance. And you can hold the thigh or the shin, or if you want, hands to the waist. If you want more, you stretch the leg out. Maybe celebrate, hands in the air. Now let's hold here and lift the leg for 4, 4, 3, 3, 2, 2, and 1, 1. Bend, sweep back to warrior 3, back into standing split, carefully raising the left leg, and then step it back, coming back into the lunge, bringing that left knee down. Now we're ready to stretch out the front leg. So walk your blocks with you, pick up the right heel and slide it forward as far as you can, okay? Those of you that want to work into a plank split, you can tuck the left toes under and lift the left knee off the ground. If full split is an option for you from here, go for it. I'm not ready for that today. Take one more breath. And then press into your left knee, slide your right foot back. Let's come into our Kapotasana. So if you have your blanket, slide it out to the side so that you can take your right hip on it. Then you can start to heel toe the right foot over to the left, bring the right shin down, bring the left knee down, and you can sit on your blanket. Okay, so I'm going to turn the other way so that you can see where my blanket is. So the blanket for your right leg is just directly underneath any space that you have underneath your right hip and thigh. Now, you might not need that blanket. You might put a block underneath because you need more height, and feel free to come down onto your forearms. I'm just going to take the blanket out. Your forearms could be on the floor. If you want to lie all the way down, you're welcome to. Now there is another option for a twist. So if you'd like to do the twist, we're going to bring the left forearm down, turning to the right. Then you can press into your right hand. You can even tuck your left toes under to stretch that foot, or maybe you lift that back foot. If you want to reach back, you can send the right hand behind you. If it happens to catch the foot, cool. Maybe you drive the foot back to lift your chest more. That feels really good on the outside of my hips, so I'm going to stay with that. You could bring it in more. You could take it back more. If you want that foot to drive you up into a back bend, if you'd like some spinal extension, you can spin the left hand forward and come up onto your palm. Then driving the foot back, you can have some height in your spine and your chest lifting up towards the ceiling. And then let's release the back foot if you have it, planting the hands. Be careful of any blanket. You want to take the props out. Plant the hands, tuck your left toes under, bring the knee closer and retuck. Then you can send your right leg up and back and down dog, and you can move around through the leg. You could also be in table, your left knee could be down here. I'm gonna do that whole thing on the other side. How much fun is that? Raising your left leg, inhale. Exhale, step the left foot forward between the hands. If you want to use your blanket, you can bring it down underneath that right knee. And you can use blocks under your hands if you want to. Inhaling into your lunge. And then exhaling, stretching the front leg straight, drawing the toes back towards your face. So forward and back a few times, inhaling. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. One more inhale. And then exhale, let's stretch that front leg straight. So lift your heel and pick it up and take it more forward. And make sure that the left knee is soft. You can point, flex, plantar flexion, dorsiflexion. Feel free to roll through the ankle, wiggle the toes. Now here, hold that and plug the left hip bone, left thigh bone, the femur, into the hip socket. Let's take one more breath. Slide your left foot back. Bend your left knee. Tuck your right toes under, lift the right foot up. Now we're coming into Parsvottanasana. So for pyramid pose, you can step the feet a little bit wider. You're going to fold over your straight front leg. So maybe the hands are on the blocks. If you don't have blocks, you can put your hands on your shin, or if you're able to walk the hands to the floor, go for it. Some of you like the stretch so much that you can lift off of the left toes, lifting to the ball of the left foot. Now we're moving into standing split. So bending into your left knee, let's lift onto the ball of the right foot. And you can walk your hands onto blocks, or you can keep them on the floor, raising the right leg, and then roll the right ankle in the air. Feel free to challenge your balance by holding onto the ankle with your left hand, and you can wrap your left forearm around the calf. Let's breathe. Take one more breath. Now, hands on blocks or on the floor. Let's bend into your left knee. Make sure the left knee stays over the ankle and tap the right big toe down. Inhale, take it all the way back up. Exhale, bring it down to tap. Make sure the knee stays over the ankle. Don't let it go beyond the toes. And then rise up again. Inhale. Exhale, one more time, tap it down. Now, lift it up and stand up. Bring your right knee into your chest. Push into your left foot. Lift your chest. You've got this. Stand all the way up. Hold your shin or hold your thigh and lift your chest. Now, if you can, no hands. Hands can come to the waist. Maybe the leg stretches out. Maybe the arms go up. And if you want to pulse, let's lift for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, and bend and fly for warrior 3, right leg behind you, arms behind you, into your standing split again. And then let's step the right foot all the way back, bring your back knee down, and pick up your left foot into a half split Ardha Hanumanasana. Let's take the blocks down or put your hands flat on the floor and then walk your left foot as far forward as you can. Tuck your right toes under and lift your right knee up. Ta-da! Hanumanasana is full split. And Hanuman is the half man, half monkey who is absolutely devoted to his beloved friends Ram and Ram's brother Lakshman and Ram's consort Sita. And you can read about Hanuman, Lakshman, Sita, and Ravana, the demon that represents ego in the yogic story, the Ramayana. Hanuman takes a leap of faith over the ocean. You can see that in the split, to tell Sita that she's going to be safe, and instead of just saving her and taking the credit, he gives all the glory to Ram. Lakshman represents concentration or focus. Sita represents Shakti or energy, or that which is enlivened. Hanuman represents prana or the life force energy, and Ram is pure consciousness or just pure being. Then when you're ready, slide back. Come into your lunge. And now we're coming into our pigeon, our Kapotasana. So if you'd like, you can come straight into it from here, walking the left foot over and then leaning onto the shin. Slide that blanket now underneath your left outer hip if you would like to, and feel free to come down onto the forearms. If the blanket makes a weird angle with your body, you can just take it out. And when you're in Kapotasana, a lot of people ask me, where is your front shin supposed to be? The further that you bring it forward, the more stretch you might get. But if you see that it makes you lean all the way over, if your intention is to be in pigeon or Kapotasana, then just see if you can get equal weight on your left and right legs. Now, if you're experiencing any sciatica, you can lean all the way over to your left and you can bend your right knee a little bit. And that bit of internal rotation slightly can help to work some of the tension out of that right sacroiliac joint, where the bottom bone of the spine, the sacrum, meets with the hip bone, is a joint that can be fairly unstable. And that instability can cause muscles tightening and locking up to protect it, either on that same side or on the other side. So that happens to me. So this bending the back knee, and it puts a little bit more weight right on the knee, which I feel right in that hip and all the spots that I need. Great. If you need something different, please feel free. Now, if you wanted to do the twist, we did the twist last time. So I'm going to spin around so that you can see. Okay, so my left leg is still forward, and this time I'm going to bring the right forearm down and I'm going to bring the left hand out, and I'm turning to look to the left. That's an option. Now, if you want to bend the back knee, you can. If you want to reach back, you don't have to hold the foot, but if you want to grab it, you can. And driving the foot in will give you more of a quad stretch, more of a hip flexor stretch. Oh my God, that feels good. Ugh. Or, excuse me, you can bring the right hand forward and at the same time drive the foot back to give you some height under the body. So if your intention is extension through the spine and opening up through the hip flexors, then that might be a nice choice here, because now I'm getting even more of a hip flexor stretch. And I am drawing that foot back behind me as my leverage. Take one more breath. And then release the back foot. Try not to let it slingshot. Just let it go down gently. Place the hands flat on your mat. Tuck your right toes under. Bring the right knee closer and retuck the toes. And then if you want, you can send the left leg up and back and do some movement through your hips. You might have your right knee down in table. That's totally fine. Right now I feel like I want to step over to wild thing. So you can step over and then turn both of your feet to the back of the mat and bring your right foot closer to your right hand for this variation. Let's do the other side if you want to. Skip it if you're not feeling this. Raise your right leg, bend your left knee, spin your feet to the back of the mat, walk your left foot closer to your left hand, and then press your hips up, fly the right arm. Then let's come on down, bend, spin, and come into down dog and stay. Or last time, inhale, roll forward to plank. Exhale, flush it out, chaturanga. Inhale through your back bend, and exhale to down dog. Now, we're going to stretch our feet. So let's bring the knees down. And now might be a nice time to get some water. We're almost at the end of our practice. Can you believe that? We'll be doing a nice long Savasana in meditation. Okay. So let's tuck the toes under and sit weight back on the feet. Now, sometimes this does not feel good for me, so I can put a blanket between the heels and the glutes. And if that feels fine and you need a little bit more, make sure the heels are drawing in toward one another, and then hands on blocks or on the floor, you can rock your knees off the floor to balance on the balls of your feet. Now make sure that your heels are pulling in. Feel free to balance here, bring your hands to your heart. Your gaze is on one point in front of you, an inanimate object that doesn't move. If you want, you can rock more weight back. You can rock some weight forward, lifting your heels. So you're just working through your feet. If you want to have your hands on the floor, then you can put even more weight on the toes because the weight is actually in your hands and arms. So you can rock forward and back, rock forward and back. And then when you've had enough of that, bring your knees down. Now let's untuck the toes and flatten the feet. And then very carefully, just send the hips back to sit on the heels or as close as you can get. Now, if you can, we'll stretch the feet more. Lift the right knee up, putting more weight on the top of the right foot, and bring it down and then the left. Lots of deep breaths here. This can get a little intense. Now, switch, hands forward, tuck the toes under, and then rock forward and back. Now let's come off of it. See if you can bring the hands up, sit, draw the knees apart. Woo! Cool. Okay. Now, find a comfortable position for your feet, and let's massage our feet here. So we just rub the feet. Stretch out through your jaw. So the yoga posture that we're in right now is called Baddha Konasana, which is bound angle. You're welcome to have blocks underneath your legs if you would like to, which looks like this. That's nice. Okay, so give it a little rub all the way down, and feel free to give your toes a rub too. Treat your beautiful feet with kindness and respect. And like Paul said, I think that we definitely do take our feet for granted. So let's give them some love now. And if you have not experienced reflexology, if you can find a reflexologist in your area, then it's a nice treat to give yourself. And the idea behind reflexology is that you can stimulate every single organ and system in the body through the feet, which is so cool. Okay, now just brush the feet off. Shake your hands to relieve the tension, or my Thai massage teacher would brush and snap. Feel free to take the hands behind you with the fingertips pointing away from you, and you can use your arms as kind of a kickstand to give your spine some extension. Feel free to roll through your neck. And you can choose to stay there. Or if you want to, you can start to walk your chest forward, reaching to your legs or your feet. walking the body forward. You can get even more sensation out of the stretch by pressing your feet toward each other and bringing your heart forward more. Your breath is your music. Keep returning. Keep returning. Inhaling and exhaling deeply and fully. And if you'd like, you can walk your body over to your right and press down through your left leg. Just getting a little traction through the hips. Man, that feels good. And then same thing, you can lean to your left and press your right hip down and away. And it's safer if your legs don't touch the floor to have your block underneath you like I am doing. But just be gentle. It's your body, so take good care of it. It's your magical vessel of connection. I think your body, our bodies are the gateways to higher levels of consciousness. Okay, and let's come back to center. Let's remove the block, and we'll use the block later. Stretch the legs up. Rock back and forth on your pelvis a few times just to give your sacrum a massage. And we're going to get now into our shoulder stand. And then we'll close with some back bends and twists right into Savasana. So I'd like to show you one of my favorite ways to set up for Sarvangasana, the shoulder stand. Because shoulder stand, you're standing on your shoulders, you're not standing on the back of your neck and head. So you want to make sure that you can get your shoulder blades closer together and the arms are pressing back. So it's actually creating a lot of extension in the upper back because the shoulder blades are together, but then the core is engaged as well, okay? And when we're in shoulder stand, we want to make sure that the head stays stable like this rather than turning the head to the left or to the right. Because if there's any weight on the head or neck, it could be compromised if we turn the head, okay? And inversions are cautioned if you have uncontrolled blood pressure issues or if you're having digestive issues. So if you feel dizzy or nauseated, just come down and take rest. And a more gentle variation of shoulder stand is propping the legs up the couch, up a chair, or up a wall. Okay, we're going to make the best thing ever. Well, one of the best things ever. So I'm going to take my blanket and I'm going to put the tassel side inside the fold. So I'm taking my mat and I'm folding it over the blanket. Now, the amount that I fold it needs to be the full length of my upper arm, okay? So this length at least, all the way from my shoulder to my elbow, and you'll see why. And now my neck and my head and my shoulders will be free and they'll be on the floor. So, sorry, the shoulders will be on the fold and then my head will be on the floor, okay? So you come onto your little fold and you can fold up your mat a few times if you want to. Now, watch first before you go up. So I'm gonna take my upper arms onto my little blanket fold, okay? And if you want a little bit more leverage, you could also just put your block underneath your pelvis. Do you see how I've got a couple of inches from the edge of the blanket to my shoulders? You'll see why in a moment, because once the legs go up over your head, it kind of pushes you back a little bit. So I'm going to start here. It's safest to get into shoulder stand if you don't kick and fling your legs overhead to catch your hips. You want to really use your core and load up the shoulders and arms and not the neck. Okay, so first we take the legs up to an L shape. We push into the upper arms, we use the core, and then you can catch your hips, okay? Come to about half shoulder stand so you can start to work the shoulders closer together under the body. And then holding the hips, the legs can go up. And because I have elevated my shoulders, my neck feels great, okay? Now the shoulder blades go closer together. They retract. Then Paul, here we go. We can do our inverted bicycling. So as long as you are supporting your hips with your hands and your shoulders are drawing closer together underneath you, and your neck is long and you're breathing. You can do whatever you want with your legs. Keep pushing down into your arms. Keep your neck stable. You're always looking up at your feet, whether your eyes are open or closed. Now, if you want to, let's take your legs over your head for plow pose. And if your feet touch the floor behind you, then you can remove the hands. But I'm just going to keep my hands at my low back. Now, let's bend the knees, and you can take the knees onto the temples or to the ears, or you can walk into Supta Konasana, where you walk the feet wide. And let's walk the feet back to plow, and then very carefully start to use your hands as brakes. Lift your feet up, sweep the hands to the outsides of your hips, and then slowly start to lower yourself down, 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 down. Bringing the feet to the mat. And just pause for a moment, let the heels turn out, let the knees rest together. And pause for a breath. After shoulder stand, I like to usually do a few rocks through the knees side to side, or a few pelvic tilts. So feel free to stretch your arms out by your sides and let your knees rock. The wider that the knees and the feet are, the more internal rotation that you'll get on one side, which again, can help with sciatica or any low back pain of any kind. While we're here, if you're comfortable, you can just stay here. If not, lie flat instead. Taking the legs to your right, if you want, bring your right foot on top of your left knee and get a nice stretch. And then let's go the other way. Drop the feet down, bring the knees to your left, and either stay there or take your left foot on top of your right knee. Release. Come back to center. So let's keep our shoulders on this blanket fold so that the neck is stable. Okay, and when you're ready, press into your upper arms and into your feet and lift your hips right here for bridge pose. Setu Bandhasana. Excuse me, there's allergies still in the world. If you want, you can start to snuggle the shoulders under even more. And because there's so much space for your neck, you might be able to reach the hands down. Some of you like to reach the hands underneath and clasp the fingers. Walk the feet a little closer together. Engage the core by pulling the ribs in and up. And if you like, you can raise one leg. Take a full breath. And then the other. And then bring it down. Release the hands and arms and lower down. And you're welcome to turn the heels out and let the knees press together. If you want to come into upward bow, you're welcome to do that. Just make sure the hands are dry. Place the hands underneath your shoulders so that your fingers are pointing towards your feet. Walk the feet in, come to the crown of the head. Then press up. I like to lift my heels off the floor to give my low back a little bit more space. Let's take one more full breath. And then you can come down. Carefully tuck your chin and relax, and maybe bring the knees into the chest. If you're rock side to side. Now let's unfold this mat and blanket if you have it. So just roll to your side and let's take it up. And then you can use your blanket underneath your head, or you might cover up with it if you have it. So at this time, we're coming into our Savasana, our relaxation. So for those of you at home, you're welcome to stay in your Savasana as long as you like. I will eventually guide a meditation that you can do from your back or in a seat. So Savasana is corpse pose, and it is our practiced relaxation. And corpse pose references the end of one phase, which is also the beautiful new beginning of the next phase. And things have to get destroyed. That's what the end phase is, the principle of destruction, or Shiva, which is our entry into pure consciousness. And destruction doesn't mean that things end. It means they are transformed and they change. So that's exactly what this posture represents. So it's where all of the work that we've done, maybe in our entire lives, if you believe in that, are integrated as one. And we all need rest. And the world is telling us right now that we have no choice but to rest and to be still. And Tara Brach would call it the sacred pause, which I love. So let's come down onto our back. And if you want to take one last spinal twist to each side, you're welcome to do that. I'm feeling really called to bring my feet together and my knees apart, so I'll do that. And I'll lay with you for a few minutes, but you can lay as long as you like, even all the way through the meditation. Let your body relax so much that you can focus on your breath first, and then let the breath be completely effortless. And if you find your mind wandering, which is normal and happens all the time, just keep bringing it back to the sensation of the breath. And if you'd like to reduce the amount of stimulation, you can close your eyes. As you continue to rest, you might notice that my voice comes in and out of your hearing, of your conscious awareness. Don't worry if you can't hear me completely. Notice all the parts of your body that are touching the floor, touching the mat. And allow them to grow a bit more heavy. With every exhale, allow your body to soften even more. You're welcome to stay in relaxation completely. Or if you would like to join me for the mantra meditation, please feel free. Sending out loving kindness into the world with the mantra Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. You're welcome to chant with me out loud. You're welcome to chant silently in your mind's eye. Or simply just receive if that's what you need. May all beings everywhere have clean water, good food, and shelter. May all beings be free from harm, danger, or violence of any kind. May all beings experience radiant health and wellness. May all beings experience peace, freedom, and joy and love. May our thoughts, our words, and our actions contribute to the good of the universe and all its inhabitants. May there be peace on earth. May it begin right now, right here with each one of us. And may we share that peace with others. May we be carried to deep peace. Hari Om, Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. May all beings everywhere be happy, peaceful, free, and in radiant, optimal health, in the flow of grace and abundance. Please slowly begin to deepen your breath. And if you find as you deepen your breath and wiggle your fingers and toes and stretch that you would like a longer Savasana or a longer meditation, I invite you just to simply stay where you are. Keep enjoying the sacred pause, as Tara Brach would say. Thank you all for joining me. Even though I can't physically see you, I can feel you and I recognize you and I honor you. Namaste. Thank you. If you all would like to join me tomorrow, I'll be doing another YouTube live stream at the same time from 10:30 to noon. And that one is by donation. So if you would like to donate to my Venmo or PayPal, I'll put it in the video notes. And with a donation, you just send your email and I'll send you the unlisted video link for tomorrow. So that's 10:30 to noon. And I'd love to see you. Thank you so much. Namaste. Thank you, Hillary. Nice to see you. Thank you, Carol. Thank you, Paul. Thank you, Eliza. And anyone else who's joining us that doesn't have the chat, thank you all for being here. I really appreciate it. So if you'd like to join me tomorrow, just reach out, send me a note on this video with your email, and I will send you the video link for tomorrow. And I hope that you feel called to share this channel with your friends so that more people can enjoy yoga and we can increase our network across the world. So thank you all. I'll see you soon.